Out of respect for copyright laws and Dan Rivera's family and Annabelle the Haunted Doll, I wasn't able to include personal photos of him and Annabelle. But his story deserves to be told and Annabelle's scary origins need to be known, and I hope this video honors that. They say, if you mock the devil long enough, eventually, he'll come knocking. Dan Rivera was no stranger to fear. A seasoned paranormal investigator, a father, a soldier, and above all, a guardian of one of the most dangerous haunted objects in the world, the real Annabelle doll. He traveled city to city with her, sharing her twisted legacy, her curse, her warnings. But on a quiet summer night in Gettysburg, during a sold-out paranormal tour, something went wrong. Dan Rivera was found dead in his hotel room. No blood, no violence, no signs of struggle, just silence. And Annabelle? She wasn't in the room, but some say she didn't have to be. This is the terrifying final chapter in the life of a man who dared to travel with evil in a glass case. And tonight, we're going to open that case one more time and let's go back on where it all begins. Some dolls are meant to be cute. Some are meant to be loved. But this doll was never meant to be found. What if I told you the sweet little face of a Raggedy Ann doll was the mask for something far more sinister? This is not just a story. This is a true story and a true evidence of extreme paranormal activities. The terrifying tale of Annabelle, the haunted Raggedy Ann doll. It all started in 1970, in the heart of a quiet American town in Hartford, Connecticut. Donna, a young nursing student, was celebrating her birthday. She is very happy on this day because her mother gifted her a doll. Not just an ordinary doll, but a second-hand Raggedy Ann doll. Beneath the lovely face of the gifted doll lies a horror that was about to be unleashed. She had no idea this innocent-looking toy would become one of the most feared objects in paranormal history. Hand-stitched cotton, button eyes, red yarn hair. Because of this doll features, Donna gave the doll a name and called her Annabelle. Donna brought the doll back to her apartment, where she lived with her roommate Angie, who also a nursing student at that time. They placed it on her bed every night so that she can have it by her side when sleeping, not giving it a second thought. But in the days that followed, strange things began to happen. At first, it was small change. Donna would leave the doll in one position and come home from school to find its position slightly shifted. She also noticed that its arms were crossed differently, or its legs were moved, as if it was moved by someone or moved by itself. Then, the next day, it started showing up in different rooms, even behind closed doors. Annabelle began to show her true dark intentions. Not even a locked door could stop her. But how could it move? It had no joints, no reason to be alive. Donna was confused but did not take it seriously. One day, they found it kneeling on the floor, an impossible position for a soft, plush doll. Donna and Angie look at each other at the same time. Confusion are written of their faces. Donna asked first, "Are you the one who did this to the doll, Angie?" Angie replied, "Of course not. We both came home together, do we? How can I even to do that? I'm not Superman." The two just did not mind it at all, and Donna picked up Annabelle and put it back to her bed gently, as if she was putting her little baby to bed to sleep. Both of them think it was unsettling, but not enough to call for help. Not yet. Soon, they started discovering notes. No text messages. No calls. Wait, no text messages? Of course not. This was the 1970s. No smartphones. No social media. Not even pagers. Just landline telephones with coiled cords and static-filled voices. Ghost creepy fun fact. Just 3 years after the Annabelle incident, in 1973, Martin Cooper of Motorola made the first mobile phone call in history. The phone? A 2.5-pound brick that took 10 hours to charge, just for 30 minutes of battery life. Imagine ghost hunting with that thing. But back to our story. No text messages. No calls. Just handwritten, crumpled parchment notes mysteriously appearing inside the apartment. They simply read, "Help us. Help Lou." Who was writing them? And why did Lou's name appear again and again? Neither Donna nor Angie even kept parchment paper in the apartment. And who was Lou? Lou is Angie's boyfriend. On one rainy day, the moment that made Donna's blood run cold, she came home from school and found something horrifying. Red liquid, oozing from the doll's hands and chest. It looked like blood. The fabric was stained, and the room had a strange metallic scent in the air. That's when they realized this wasn't just a strange occurrence. It was something evil. Desperate, the girls contacted a medium for help. The medium claimed to have contacted the spirit of a 7-year-old girl named Annabelle Higgins. She had died tragically on the land years before the apartment was built. Annabelle's spirit, the medium said, was lonely and frightened. She told them, "I feel safe with you. Please, can I stay in the doll?" Moved by sympathy, Donna agreed. But that decision was a grave mistake. Not long after, Lou, Angie's boyfriend, began to feel an overwhelming sense of dread whenever he was near the doll. One night, he woke up paralyzed. A sleep paralysis, he was unable to move and saw a dark figure, slowly crawling up to his legs, then up to his chest. Now face to face with the dark figure, he finally knew who is it. It's Annabelle. Annabelle started to smile with its red yarn lips while looking at him. Its soft hands pressed against his throat. Annabelle started to strangle Lou. Harder and harder, he gasped. He screamed, but no voice came out of his mouth. Then he woke up. Lou is breathing heavily, gasping. He tried to look for Annabelle, but there is no doll in his bed. Lou said, "Is it just dream? Or maybe just a nightmare?" The next day, Lou and Angie were planning to go on a trip. While preparing, Lou heard strange sounds from Donna's room and entered to investigate. What he saw shocked Lou to his core. He saw Annabelle leaping at him, and the predator catching his prey. Suddenly, he felt burning pain across his chest. He looked down and saw 7 claw marks, deep red scratches, 3 vertical and 4 horizontal. They burned. They bled. At this point, Lou was very scared. He threw Annabelle immediately in the floor. Lou ran out of the room like Forrest Gump. He wet his pants while he ran for his life and go to Angie and Donna to tell them what happened. But within 2 days, they vanished completely. No scars, no evidence left behind. That was when they finally called for help. The roommates first contacted a priest, Father Hagen, who passed the case to a higher authority, Father Cook, who in turn brought the famous paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens immediately recognized the danger. They believed it was not the spirit of a little girl, but something far worse. Lorraine, gifted with clairvoyance, entered the apartment. The moment she laid eyes on Annabelle, she turned cold. "There is no little girl here," she said. "This is not Annabelle. It never was." She explained the doll was not possessed. It was manipulated. "A demonic entity," Ed said. "It's not possessing the doll. It's using the doll to get closer to a human host." The husband duo came to a same terrifying conclusion. A demonic entity had used the doll as a vessel to gain trust, and once it was fully accepted, it would try to possess his soul. The scratches, the moving doll, the writing, they were all part of a game, a demonic seduction. Its ultimate goal was possession, and time was running out. Rain pounded against the windows of the small Connecticut home as Ed and Lorraine Warren pulled into the driveway. Inside, fear lived in the heart of a young nurse called Donna, who had unwittingly invited darkness into her apartment months earlier. A gift, a Raggedy Ann doll. But it wasn't long before that doll began to move. Notes appeared in a childlike scrawl. "Help us. Help Lou." Objects were thrown. Claw marks appeared on flesh. The doll was not haunted. It was a conduit for a demon. The Warrens immediately sensed it. A demonic attachment masked as an innocent spirit. Lorraine, a clairvoyant, described the atmosphere as thick, like stepping into a nightmare you can't wake up from. The priest they brought along, Father Cook, prepared for the rite of exorcism. But even he seemed shaken by what he saw in that doll's eyes. "It's not just cursed," Ed said, gripping his rosary tightly. "It's a beacon, and it wants to be seen." The doll sat motionless in a chair as Father Cook opened his book. Candles flickered violently. The air turned ice cold. As he began the rite of exorcism, Annabelle's head slowly turned. "In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti," the priest prayed. The lights exploded. A guttural growl filled the room, not from the doll, but from nowhere and everywhere at once. "You are not welcome here," the priest commanded. The crucifix on the wall twisted upside down. Lorraine clutched her chest. "It's mocking us," she whispered. As the prayer intensified, so did the manifestations. The floor shook. Drawers opened and slammed. Blood-like liquid dripped from the doll's hands. Ed stepped forward and sprinkled holy water, chanting Latin words. Then it happened. The doll levitated, on top of the chair, as an inhuman scream pierced the air. Father Cook, voice unshaken, continued, "I cast you out, unclean spirit." Along with every satanic power of the enemy, every incursion of the infernal adversary, every legion, every diabolical group and sect. The room flashed white, then came silence. The doll dropped, lifeless again, motionless. But was it over? After the exorcism, the doll was then removed and taken into the Warrens' custody. But even the car ride home was cursed. Ed and Lorraine claimed their brakes failed multiple times while transporting the doll. It wasn't until Ed splashed holy water on Annabelle that the disturbances stopped. Once home, the Warrens placed Annabelle in a locked, blessed glass case, inside their occult museum in Monroe, Connecticut. They labeled it clearly, "Warning, positively do not open." But not everyone took that warning seriously. One day, a man and his girlfriend visited the museum. The man mocked Annabelle, tapped the glass, laughed at the stories. Ed warned him to stop, but the man did not listen and just ignore Ed's warning. On their motorcycle ride home, the man lost control and crashed into a tree. He died instantly. His girlfriend survived and said they had been joking about the doll moments before the accident. Annabelle still remains locked away inside that glass case. Even though Ed and Lorraine have both passed, her story and her curse live on. Many believe she's still watching, waiting for someone to make the mistake of setting her free, and yes, finally, someone took Annabelle out of the museum to tour Annabelle on the outside world. Who was Dan Rivera and what happened? Dan Rivera, aged 54, was a veteran paranormal investigator and a lead figure at the New England Society for Psychic Research, NESPR. He served in the U.S. Army and had over a decade of experience investigating hauntings. He was also known for producing paranormal content for platforms like TikTok and consulting on the Netflix show 28 Days Haunted. Rivera was leading a U.S. tour called Devils on the Run, which prominently featured the infamous Raggedy Ann doll known as Annabelle, claimed to be demonically possessed and central to the Conjuring films. On July 11th to 13th, 2025, the tour made a stop in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Rivera had just wrapped a sold-out presentation on July 13th and reported feeling ill to colleagues that day. Later that evening, workers discovered Rivera deceased in his hotel room in Straben Township, Adams County, after emergency responders attempted CPR but were unable to revive him. Medical symbol cause of death and investigations. According to the Pennsylvania State Police, no signs of foul play were observed, and the death was classified as natural. The case remains under investigation pending autopsy results, expected in 8 to 10 weeks from mid-July. Adams County Coroner Francis Dutro confirmed that the Annabelle doll was not present in the hotel room at the time of Rivera's death. Rivera's sudden death while touring with Annabelle reignited conspiracy theories online, with some attributing the incident to the doll's supposed curse. However, Paranormal investigators like Ryan Buell and media figures including Jason Hawes publicly dismissed these theories, emphasizing Rivera's long career handling the doll and urging against sensationalism. They called for respect and remembrance of Rivera as a person first over paranormal legend. How about you guys? What do you think really happened in the mysterious death of Dan Rivera, who let Annabelle have a worldwide tour? Let us know in the comments. Do you believe in cursed objects like Annabelle? If you felt chills listening to this story, you're not alone. The tale of Annabelle is one of the most terrifying true hauntings ever recorded. And would you dare spend a night in the same room as her? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon for more true horror stories, because what's real is often more terrifying than fiction.